It's the fourth and final match of the opening day of the Hero World League final, and we are in Pool A, where England are going to take on the home side, India, this evening at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in New Delhi. It is a beautiful January evening, slightly cold, which will be reflected in some of the gear that you'll see on some of the fans, but it will hot up definitely on the turf, because England and India have always been big rivals. There have always been some entertaining, massively entertaining games between these two teams, and today should be no exception. Pool A has already seen Germany resounding victory over New Zealand with 6-1, and that's why the incentive for both these teams is massive to try and get 3 points out of this one. India are in yellow and England in white jerseys and red shorts. And as always, you know the first course of action. First things first, we'll have the national anthems, and we'll begin, of course, with England for this match. But that's only after the presentation for this particular game. Miss Alana Norman of Hockey India is taking the chief guest alongside. But alongside me in the commentary box is Cedric D'Souza, who's been in the hot seat for India on a couple of occasions, Cedric. And no doubt that this will be a crucial encounter for the Indians.
Well, it's good. They want to start well, start the tournament well, you know, by a victory. It'll give them a lot of confidence in the next matches. It's a young Indian side with a lot of changes, and hopefully they'll do well in this first game.
As the two teams being introduced to Mr. Ajit Mohan, who's the Secretary of Sports, the Government of India Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, under whose aegis, of course, all these brilliant hockey events happen right here at this beautiful Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium, named after a doyen, a legend of not just Indian sport, but also world sport. Right, let's stand by for the national anthems, beginning with England. Just an idea of how cold it is this evening when those final few verses were being sung. Lots and lots of frozen droplets coming out of the mouths of players and fans alike. But one thing's for sure, nothing will be taken easy on the pitch between these two rivals. Met also right here at this ground in the Senior World Cup back in 2010. On that occasion, England ran out 3-2 winners in what was a massively entertaining encounter back in 2010, just about 4 years ago. So this pool encounter, just to tell you through the two teams, England, of course, they have some stars of their own. Ashley Jackson, none bigger than him, perhaps. Number 7, 82 goals and 150 caps for England and Great Britain. Has been one of their outstanding performers, as also their skipper, number 18, Barry Middleton. He'll turn 30 on Sunday, and he already has an experience of 292 caps behind him. Bobby Crutchley, 43-year-old, is their coach. holds a business studies degree from the University of Sheffield and has also studied at Chester as well as Central Lancashire. Now, for the Indians, there have been a few injuries which have forced a few of their usual starters to not really begin in this tournament. But watch out for their captain as well, number 8, Sardar Singh. He's an absolute superstar, as are number 3, Rupinder Singh, and number 12, VR Raghunath, who's always a threat with the both of them with their penalty corner conversions. That's something that Terry Walsh, the 60-year-old Western Australian, will be looking to inspiration for. He has, of course, the likes of MK Kaushik, V Bhaskaran, as well as Roland Altmans in a slightly different role, but they are there to support him. Herman Montes de Oca from Argentina is joined in this match by Gary Simmons from South Africa, and Marcin Grohal from Poland is the video umpire for this particular fixture. The fourth and final match of the opening day of this Hero Hockey World League final. We've already had 19 goals in 3 matches, and there's absolutely no reason why the entertainment won't continue into this final game. It's England who get things moving. England in white up against them, India in yellow. It's England from left to right, and the Indians in yellow from right to left. Quick roar of the crowds. I've already introduced him before, but Cedric D'Souza is alongside myself, the Mayan Sen, in the commentary box. And Cedric looking forward to what should be a good, exciting encounter, and in a sense, not much of pressure on these teams, because they know that irrespective of what happens here, they will still be through to the quarterfinals, so we should see some entertaining, free-flowing hockey.
Well, apart from free-flowing hockey, I think neither team wants to lose a match and come into a winning combination, winning setup. So we're looking for a great match today on the cards.
All picked up deep in the Indian defense, and looking to move it forward was Timaya. Did well to retain possession. Still with the Indians, Birendra Lakra all the way back. Rupinder Pal, rock solid full-back, who also gets up front for the penalty corners, as does Raghunath, who's on the ball at the moment. Holds off a couple of challenges but cannot retain possession. One suspects, Cedric, possession of the ball will be a critical thing, especially for the Indians. With not much of a crowd here behind them, they'll need to try and take advantage as much as they can of these early home conditions.
Well, I think the important thing, as you just said, the possession of the game, possession of the ball is very, very important. How crowd support, whatever there is also very important for this young Indian side. And you know, the utilization of Sardara is very, very important in this game. So also using the left and right midfielder, the left and right defender coming into attack.
Still with possession for the Indians. This is Raghunath on to the man who was being mentioned, Sardar Singh. Sardara Singh also sometimes, as he's called. I'll show you, though, whatever you call him by, easily the best Indian player in recent years. Now this one has been slapped through. Was looking for a deflection. Mandeep was in a good position to try and receive that. Timaya was the first to get onto it. His jersey says Sardar, but at the moment he's looking to fall back, because it's with English possession, coming in the shape of Simon Mantle. To the right, Nick Catlin looking to take advantage, but just cannot keep possession. One would expect a little bit of nerves from the Englishman early on, as indeed from each and every team going into the first day of competition. It's looking to size up the opposition, size up their own best options as well in terms of how they want to combine and how they want to attack.
I think the first couple of minutes is always sussing out the other team and trying to figure out your own strategy, own game plan, whether it's working or not, whether you're ready to try to change it at that time. But the important thing is that both teams are going to basically just wait and watch, and then take it from there on.
Disappointed with himself as Keotapa just couldn't keep that ball in play. 23 years of age, 43rd cap for India today. Lots and lots of promise in a lot of Indian players in recent years, but how they came to naught in the recent Junior World Cup. Finished 10th. A lot of these players were a part of that campaign as well. This is a new beginning, it's a new year, and in all respects, Cedric, they'll be hoping for a new start.
Well, every game is also a new start and a new beginning. and it's important for them to put the past behind them and start thinking of the future, especially with the World Cup coming up, the Asian Games coming up, the Champions Trophy coming up this year.
Good bit of lively work from Sunil as he was moving forward, just causing the England defence a few worries. Yes, absolutely spot on in that sense, especially for the Asian teams and those which are also part of the Commonwealth. It's a huge year. There's the World Cup, there's also the Champions Trophy, let's not forget, that's also in India later on in the year. So plenty of good quality competitive hockey for all these players coming up in time to come. Long corner taken by Sardar, goes all the way back. Rupinder sweeps this one through and nearly was picked up. So the long ball strategy, which we have seen the Indians use quite a lot in previous occasions, looks like that will be a favoured option here as well.
Well, I think, because of the power that there is with Rupinder and with Raghunath, they can put this slap hit really well into the opposition half. And with people like Mandeep,
at the moment they'll have to defend this one. It's a good run and it's a good feint as well from Mantle. He's walked it into a position of strength, but in the end punched away quite convincingly by Srijesh. And now the Indians on the attack. Sunil down the right.
Coming back to that last point, there's long hits that are coming inside. You've got people like Mandeep and Manpreet who can basically deflect the ball very well into the goals. So it's good to have those long hits coming in, but not use it all the time. You frequently use it, not all the time.
Kotajit finds Timaya. All the way back to Lakra. This is the captain, Sardar. Big roar in the crowd every time he gets on the ball, not least because he's also associated with the local franchise in the HIL. Dharamveer Singh. Picked up by the English. They haven't seen too much of the ball in these first few minutes. It must be said, they look to be as compact in defense as possible, and that's a brilliant through ball. This could cause a few problems for the Indians. Ashley Jackson was getting into a good position, but a good bit of defending. Good vision there from Amit Rohidas. I suspect they also got a little bit of a help from Virendra Lakra. Now this has fallen pretty well for Afan Yusuf. Very, very talented young man. Goes for a reverse hit. It was from outside. Was looking, no doubt, for a deflection. All of those who followed Indian domestic hockey for a long time know that this young 19-year-old is perhaps one of the best players to come through, making his senior debut today.
But that long ball from England coming through the entire Indian defense, who has got ball watching actually just now. And fortunately for us, or for India, the fact that the ball was played behind the English player on top of the penalty spot.
Certainly England showing that they are very, very dangerous on the counter-offensives, and the way that they've started, they are quite happy to defend deep in their own half. So they'll be happy, it seems, from the initial proceedings, that they'll be quite happy to soak up the pressure and look to hit India on the counter. India again getting this possession in a useful position, but just giving it away. Here comes Ashley Jackson. Superb run and going for it on the reverse as well, but maybe, just maybe, would have been better served looking for one of his teammates running around the right.
Well, when Ashley got that ball, he went down the flank and he cut into the circle. When he cuts into the circle, he cuts the angle down very narrow. And if it had come into the goal, Srijesh would have covered the ball very well. So there was no question of a shot at goal in terms of on that angle.
There are two things there for the Indians to note for sure, that Ashley Jackson has good pace and he's got good strength. So they've got to try and close him down every time he gets on the ball. This is another man who possesses those traits in ample reserves. Sardar Singh initiating this attack, and it's looking promising once again from the Indians. Has he found a foot? No, he hasn't. In fact, he has. Yuvraj Valmiki, another very, very fine young player.
outside.
No.
Quite a bit of pushing and shoving off the ball. But in the far channels, when you're not watching, you don't want to send anybody off. You just send them down. That's a good job. All right? Okay.
That's good officiating, just sensible from Gary Simmons.
But he wants to see that there's no argy-bargy going on the pitch, and he's called the captains and to explain to their team not to have any of this pushing and shoving and rough play or body play.
It's perhaps a better option rather than just going straight in for a card at some stage. The pace from the Indians has been good, but they have not been able to substantiate it with any major effort inside the English half. They must watch out for the counter attack, especially beginning with the man on the ball, Ashley Jackson. Allowing this one to roll back for Michael Hoare. Lots and lots of experience in this English team, Cedric, and that's why those experienced hands need to settle this game down, get as much possession as possible. The likes of Barry Middleton with 292 caps. There's also been Adam Dixon, who's had a number of caps for his team, 116th today.
We've also got Simon Mantle as well as Ashley Jackson, who are also very experienced players. We've also got Nick Catlin, who is also a very, very strong player. So I think the important thing is that both teams have got some experience in them. You've got Sadara on our side, you've got Rupinder on our side, who on the Indian side, which is basically have certain amount of experience also. So both teams have to capitalize on their experienced players.
Yet again, this move was initiated by a lovely flick from Sardar, which fell for Manpreet, and Manpreet was looking to slap it straight onto the path of his on-rushing forwards. And as it turned out, it was well quelled by the English defence. And just gets the impression, looking at the first 10 minutes that we have seen here, this is going to be a close affair in terms of goal score. There won't perhaps be too many. Although, never say never in a game of hockey. If you get one or two good ones, then it could just open up the floodgates. Dharamveer again looking to send this one through, but the Indians are claiming that they have got a touch onto it.
What do you want? Good. That's it. Hey, come on. That's one. Just here. Just. What do you want now?
Yeah,
Do you want the ball?
yeah, okay, yeah. They've asked for it, yeah.
The ball? No, you already asked. What do you want to know? You must ask me. Anyway, we go out. We go out. What do you want to know? Give me a question. If not, I ask. Do you want a goal? A goal. Yes, ready.
Well, eventually they get it right. So Afan Yusuf of the impression that there was a touch on.
Yeah, go ahead. Would you please tell me whether I have to give a goal or not to India?
We're looking for a goal for India, and they're saying the ball was touching the circle, yeah?
Yes. It's seen by the goalkeeper. I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Herman, I've got a decision for you.
Yes.
There is no reason to change the decision, and India is losing the referral.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
16.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, Cedric, with youth sometimes comes inexperience, and with inexperience comes some bad judgment.
Well, I think Afan got carried away with the situation. He thought it hit the goalkeeper's pad, but it stayed into the goal, and India's lost the referral.
And you could see almost immediately that he wasn't convinced himself. He gestured to the umpire, but after that he himself didn't know what he really was asking for. And it needed the intervention of Raghunath to come in and translate in a sense for him. Nevertheless, the only blow suffered by the Indians is reflected on the top in the scorecard. The green dot has turned red, so India have lost their referral. England retain theirs. So So if the game gets close, then that could be a decisive factor. But as of now, the Indians will need to try and just relegate that to the back of their mind. Tim Whiteman. Oh, that's a poor pass. It's been picked up nicely by Manpreet. Lots of men moving forward in yellow. Ups to go down the right. Once again, Dharamveer looking to hit it with a lot of power. And Kothajit forced to backtrack because David Condon not only has possession but has put in a good pass. Back with Ashley now. Cleghorn. Whiteman. Useful ball in, but first to it was Afan Yusuf. And this is Mandeep. The other precocious teenager in this team, just 18 years of age. Already had 28 caps before this one for the Indian team, of course, over the last year or so. Especially after this impressive HIL campaign back in 2013. He's been a virtual regular in the Indian team.
Well, a lot of Mandeep's strength is basically tipping balls and getting into the right place at the right time. He's a great poacher.
Rohidas looking to work with Lakra, who sent this ball in. Once again, it's Mandeep inside, and it's a penalty corner for the Indians. England are not particularly pleased with it. Are they referring this? From the look of things, not. So this will be India's first opportunity.
A cross ball into the circle. And Mandeep was there, his block was basically held back by the English defender. The ball bumps up the English defender's stick, and a clean penalty corner for India.
Oliver Villas was the defender, and just looked like he got his leg stuck in there. The two big men at the top of the D. Raghunath on screen, but alongside him is Rupinder Pal, close to us. Going for the second castle. Raghunath, well saved. Looking for a follow-up, still looking for something, and another penalty corner. Afan Yusuf very quick to bounce on that rebound.
Well, the flick from Raghunath was thrown hard into the goalkeeper's pads. But what happens is actually the ball comes off the pads and goes on to one of the defenders. He plays the ball into his own defense and his own defender's foot, and the penalty corner from that.
England can ill afford to give too many chances to the Indians because they have some useful rag flick specialists. Not least of all, Rupinder Pal, just wide. So both their PC specialists, Raghunath and Rupinder Pal, getting in on the act, but no goals yet.
But he tried to go very angular and flick the ball just wide off the post.
He's traveling at the rate of knots, just looking at the reaction from the man at the post. He was ducking for cover in the firing line. Furious note-taking from both Bobby Crutchley as well as Terry Walsh. And the scoreline remains 0-0. Won't be too much to complain, but here come the Englishmen. It's a great attempt, and it's come off the post. He had done enough to beat Srijesh, but just couldn't beat the woodwork next to him. Still with England possession, and the Indians have still not been able to clear the ball completely, and this time it goes out for a long corner. Once again was looking to pick up the run of Tim Whiteman. Cedric, England have shown that when they get into good attacking positions, then they cannot be taken lightly either.
Well, England is very good in the circle in terms of even the tip-ins as well as the deflection balls. They normally never hit at goal, they always look for the deflection balls. and they're very, very good in the circle. This comes from the indoor skills basically that they have.
Yes, a number of them. Ashley Jackson, perhaps the most prominent one, but also Adam Dixon, somebody who plays a lot of indoor hockey. This was that opportunity. Last touch from Simon Mantle, and he immediately knew that he was very close.
Well, I think, he didn't lift his stick. He just pushed it without even looking at the goal.
This time it's the Indians who are looking to move forward, but the whistle has been blown against MB Ayappa. So action aplenty, but not enough, I'm afraid, in front of goal. Certainly England doing the better in terms of circle penetrations. And while India have had their shots, but nothing has been threatening enough as yet in this match. A couple of penalty corners, which went a begging. Sunil unable to take it past Veer. But does win possession for his team in the process. Sardar. India, of course, playing this tournament in many respects as a result of being confirmed as tournament hosts in the Hockey World League Round 3, the semi-finals in Rotterdam. They finished a dismal 6th. They showed some form later on in the year. They were runners-up in the Asia Cup behind Korea. That, in a sense, confirmed their place in the summer's World Cup. In contrast, England were third in their Hockey World League semi-finals in Johor Bahru.
See, most of the teams in this first day using the aerial ball to an advantage in terms of an attack. In the good old days, we see the ball being just thrown out of defense, basically just to release the pressure on the attack. But today it's being used as a ploy to attack as much as possible.
Yet another long ball. Rupinder Pal, it's been well received. Somehow bouncing into the D, but not attacking enough. They do win a free hit though. Slew of yellow shirts now waiting for this delivery from their skipper. Just not on the same page on that occasion.
Since you've got to play the ball 5 meters out, Sadara was looking for a pass to his to Kotaji to come up front. Sorry, Amit Rohidas received that ball, and Amit didn't move in the same direction as Sadara did.
This has been quite nicely played by the Indians. The first touch coming in from Ayappa. Is Ashley Jackson though. Ashley Jackson is poised on a bit of a personal milestone. He's on 49 goals for England. He's also got 33 for Great Britain, and would dearly love to get that 50th for England in this particular match. The distinction, of course, just a minor one. They do play in the Olympics as Great Britain, but otherwise in most competitive fixtures as England. Now this time, getting into a great position, winning a penalty corner for his team, the first for England. And this will be time for Ashley Jackson to step up and the Indian defenders to take cover.
Well, a great pass deep down into our 25-yard line. The ball being played behind the Indian defense, behind Raghunath. And Raghunath plays the ball, puts his body, and then it's the penalty corner for England.
So the Indian defense now will need to regroup. This is a situation they haven't been faced with as yet in this match. They've had a couple of chances of their own. And it is such a critical moment in modern hockey, isn't it? Penalty corners and their conversions can often decide the fate of close encounters, especially between teams which are quite evenly matched. Ashley Jackson on just saw in the previous picture. Second from left. Top of the D on the right side. The second castle, so to speak. Here he comes. Ashley looking for it. Doesn't convert. Doesn't get that 50th goal for England.
Well, he gets into position for the flick, but the ball is just flicked wide off the post. Srijesh had the ball covered if it had come into the goal.
As the 3 penalty corners for both teams have just seen a little bit of a trailer of what each of the players is capable of. And this one was Mandeep Singh showing his bag of tricks, just couldn't complete it though. And that allows England to regroup. The concern, I suppose, Cedric, is the Indians have put in a lot of energy into these first 23 minutes. So they've got to try and leave something in the tank. We saw in the first, or rather the second game of the day, Argentina were very clever in how they conserved energy for the second half.
I think, with the rolling substitution and with the teams at this level of hockey, the fitness is so very important. India has the home advantage also. I think there's a possibility of not losing out so much of power in the entire 70 minutes of play.
And this was slapped hard by Middleton, and it's come off an Indian defender's foot, so it will lead to a second penalty corner. And Ashley Jackson make amends this time around.
Well, Barry Middleton's hit has come deep into the circle and is deflected off Rupinder Pal's stick and goes on to Vrinder Lakra's foot and the penalty corner.
And the last time around he went low, he went to the right of Srijesh, but missed his mark, not by too much. Cedric, what do your instincts tell you? Where will this one go? Let's have a guess.
I think they've got to keep the ball low. It's the trend today where most of the balls are going low into the keepers who are tall.
So low on either side of the keeper, says Cedric. It's a variation and it's well saved. A variation only in terms of who took it, not so much the intent. The intent was to absolutely rip it into the back of the net.
Well, if you look at this penalty corner, the ball is flicked, but it's flicked onto just at the arm height of Srijesh, and that's an easy save for the keeper of any caliber keeper.
So this time Mark Gleghorn unable to convert. So both teams with 2 of those attempts coming in from PCs. One has been squirted wide, one has been on target but saved. Been a frenetic first half, but no goals is yet to show for it, and in some respects perhaps an accurate reflection of how things have happened. 10 minutes now left on the clock in this first half. Down the right, Nick Catlin, who's been very, very active. Another man that Cedric did point out for his experience. 102nd cap today for England and GBR. Another man who comes with loads of experience. Sardar Singh. Useful ball and more than useful pick up too by Manpreet. A shot comes in and it needed a deflection, and he wasn't too far away from it either, was Timaya, showing good awareness.
Sardar plays this ball deep into the cross ball actually to Mandeep. Manpreet plays the ball into Sunil. Sunil hits the ball looking for a shot at goal, but to convince the keeper that he's taking a shot at goal, but he plays the ball wide. A nice movement by India.
Nick in one of 2 Thimayas who've been in reckoning in recent times. Nitin Thimaya hasn't eventually made it to the squad. But both have some great goal scoring ability. In fact, that's the heartening aspect perhaps of this Indian team, that they can get goals from across the park, but it's their defense which can sometimes be of a dicey proposition. Kothajit, they're not able to trap it successfully. And now another mistake, and it leads to another penalty corner. The Indians can ill afford keeping these mistakes coming in, because sooner or later, with somebody like Ashley Jackson out on the pitch, England will strike.
Well, Tom Carson had the ball and was cutting in, weaving past Kothajit. Kothajit trips him and a penalty corner.
No Jackson in the middle at the moment. Much like Sardar Singh, he's somebody who does spend a lot of playing time on the pitch for this English team. And I dare say the last one from Greg Horn was quite promising. And he's another one of those players who's poised at the top of the D. Alongside him is also Tom Carson. Oh, well worked. That was beautifully worked. And it's Lee Dixon who gets the final shot in. The Indians looking at the castles, but they swept it around, and before they knew it, it was in the back of the net.
A great slip ball played from across in the first charge, completely beaten on the slip, and Adam Dixon plays the ball in the far corner of the goal, past Vijesh.
Fantastic goal right from the training ground, and that's something that will always please not just a team, but also the coach. So eventually a penalty corner conversion does come in, but it comes in for England. And they make the most of their third opportunity from PCs. Sunil. I've seen a few examples of a lot of players today slipping. You know that it is it's an evening with a lot of fog and mist around, perhaps just a little wet underfoot. And that's causing a few mistakes coming in, especially from the Indians. They've been losing their ground, their footing on a few occasions. What matters though is the ultimate scoreline, and that is in favor of England. So they've done a good job of soaking up all the pressure, taking in all that the Indians have thrown at them. Made the most of one of three opportunities to convert from the penalty corners. Now this is Nikin. On to Sardar. The right idea, but just couldn't find Kotaji there. So England leading by 1 goal. A good finish by Dixon and very well worked there, Cedric.
Well, the penalty corner it's an ideal slip ball, you know, but it's not deep. It's on top of the circle itself, and not too narrow, and it just flicks it past Vijesh, who would actually move to his right slightly, and the ball was flicked in the left corner of the goal.
We did mention right at the top, well, that's a mistake this time from Michael Hoare. We did mention that defensive mistakes are something you can ill afford to make between two teams with good ammunition of penalty corners, and that's somewhere where the Indians, certainly for a spell of about 7 to 10 minutes, did slip up. They gave far too many opportunities to England. Now looking for something of their own, but just can't get it through.
Well, you know, the cardinal rule is that is not to make mistakes in defense as much as possible. And even if you do make mistakes, then to regroup quickly and close out the angles and close out the lines.
Well, that was close. That was struck in by Raghunath. And it came off the back of the stick for Timaya. This was the chance.
Well, a long ball again, which is, I think what's happening is that it's a very favorable ploy by India. These long balls into the circle. And Timaya just misses the target.
Very, very experienced George Pinner in goal for the Englishman. In fact, England have in recent years produced some fine goalkeepers. We saw that in evidence also during the Junior World Cup, though their overall campaign perhaps not quite up to scratch, but their goalkeeping right through was quite excellent. Now the Indians come again. Pinner might have some more work on his hands. Uttapa on to the right. Doing a lot of work there. But unable to find any of his teammates was Nikin Timaya. Well, the deserved rest as the Indians once again look to push forward with a long ball. It's not quite been handled as well by the English defence initially, but keeping their cool and keeping their composure, keeping the ball too. Tom Carson has had so much of an influence over proceeding Cedric, hasn't he? He's really held the midfield together well for England, Tom Carson.
Well, Tom Carson as well as Barry Middleton have been two players who have been holding the fort for England and not giving an inch in the midfield.
Well, here's a man who can take a mile if you afford him an inch. SV Sunil doing well. Now finds Mandeep. Mandeep has that impish expression in any case on his face, and it must be even more irritating when you're a defender, because he just runs rings around you sometimes.
Well, Mandeep is also a player who is a capable player, a caliber player. So the team has to be, the other team has to be very, very, wary of his approach, because he may smile at you, he may just show you the impish face, but logically speaking, he's a great player.
And that's a great ball. Now England moving forward. What's been impressive is when they've moved forward, they've done that with purpose. They haven't done that too often, but it's always been with a definite plan and purpose.
I think they play a lot with playing on the break and playing on the counter balls, and this is the hallmark of an English team. Basically, they play on the counter ball, so they know when they get the ball, they're dangerous in the striking zone.
Not much time for both these teams to regroup. Tomorrow their fixtures, England will be taking on Germany. That will be a 6 p.m. pushback, and at 8 p.m. the Indians will go up against the Black Sticks of New Zealand. New Zealand handed out a 6-1 thrashing earlier this evening by Germany. Afan Yusuf with a good ball, but Mandeep just cannot bring it under his control. Just for a little while, looked like he was caught in two minds about whether to go for a first-time shot or to try and control it.
Well, Afan Yusuf did very well just now in terms of looking at the player, looking at Mandeep as to where he's getting into position before he plays the ball in. A good through pass, but Mandeep didn't trap it well enough. The first touch is so important in these games.
Yes, and England have defended so well that you've got to make the most of every opportunity you get inside their box. That's unfortunately not happened. And this time the ball has been beautifully stolen. Yet again, it's Nick Catlin put under pressure by the Indian defence. Virendra Lakra, his opposite number, the two number 26s. Here's Ashley Jackson. Coming down to the last 40 seconds now. England will be absolutely chuffed if they can find a second goal here, but as things stand, they won't be too displeased with the scoreline now, Cedric.
Well, it's been a scrappy game in terms of possession, in terms of who's winning the contest, basically. Just as one goal separating both teams. It's from a penalty corner, but from Adam Dixon, who's sitting on the bench at the moment. But one goal is just not enough in this type of game, in this type of hockey here, and on this surface.
Well, your words, Cedric, are music to the ears of the Indian supporters, I'm sure. But as of now, they'll just have their hearts in their mouth. Terry Walsh will have a few observations to share with his team, and we'll have a few words of advice for them. Bobby Crutchley, on the other hand, will be quite pleased with how things have turned out. India began with a lot of momentum, a lot of movements going forward, but nothing substantial. They were the ones who had the first two penalty corner attempts but couldn't convert. And eventually, after two unsuccessful attempts, it was Adam Dixon, who was on screen just a while ago, who converted from one such penalty corner with 7 minutes to go in the first half. So the first 35 minutes, haven't seen too much of action from either two goalkeepers, either George Pina or PR Srijesh for India. The only goal for England coming in this first half. It's England 1, India 0.
Put your hands in the air,
final game of the opening day of this Hero Hockey World League final. And in this Pool B fixture, Pool A fixture rather, England at the moment leading by 1-0 against the home side, India. It was the first half where India created their chances, make no mistake about that. This was Rupinder Pal Singh just squirting it a little wide. That was the second of the 2 penalty corners that India got. But in response, England were very efficient when moving forward. This was a near miss. Simon Mantle getting himself into a great position. And the 29-year-old just striking the post. This was another attack going forward. And then perhaps one of the best chances for India when it was struck across. Looking for a touch on. Sunil looking for the man just behind him. And eventually this was the moment that broke the duck. Fine finish from Adam Dixon. Well worked, the variation. Certainly it had the Indian runners fooled, who went off in one direction and were forced to change track as a result. The numbers pretty much showing that it's been a very, very even contest. India perhaps with a little bit more possession, but circle penetrations, the shots, everything quite even. England with the most important number though, that 1 goal against their name. And only the 1 card which went to Henry Weir. It's very, very cold. That's perhaps one of the reasons that we don't really have a full house yet. But as this week wears on, top quality action, India set to play on every night. I can assure you that there will be a few more fans coming in, lots more color, lots more faces will be coming in and looking to support the national team and take them in to some good positions in this particular tournament. No shortage of support, and no shortage of support online as well. Just a quick reminder that you can connect with us on social media. On Twitter, we are at FIH_hockey. All you need to do is just attach the hashtag HHWL for the Hero Hockey World League. Fans crying out for a goal. The Indian team, I'm sure, will look to try and oblige them as early as possible. And yes, that cheers him up. It always cheers up when you see yourself on the big screen. First 35 minutes where India did make a lot of positive moves but just couldn't finish it off, and that's what they'll be looking to change, I'm sure, in the second 35. Well, at the moment the initiative and the scoreline in favor of England. I'm sure Bobby Crutchley would have had a few things to say to his team. They're leading by 1-0. And what really has he been passing on to his team as a mantra? Well, let's find out with Michael Absalom.
Bobby, thoughts on that first half? What have you just said to your players in the changing room?
We've just done a little bit of tweaking on how we're playing. They've forgotten some of the stuff, having not played some international matches for some time, and just to be a little bit tighter. But overall, it's just about us having a little bit more quality throughout. I thought we showed signs of it, but I just want a little bit more in the second half.
Are you happy with that first half performance? A goal obviously on the board, hit the post as well, and plenty of corners coming your way.
Never happy, because I think we've actually showed some things that I wasn't thinking of, but I do appreciate there was some good hockey in there. We just want more of it and to keep doing it, so put them on the back foot. I've got no doubt India will put us under some pressure as well in this half, and we have to be very solid defensively.
What's the most important thing in this second half for England?
Our quality on the ball. If we can keep the ball well, okay, that negates the pressure we come on, but it's not about just keeping, it's about when we have opportunities, really putting them away and taking our chances.
All right, good luck with the second half.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Mike. England coach quite candid in what he said. The fact that they've not had a lot of quality hockey together, that has probably reflected on some of the scrappiness, especially early on in the first half. But Cedric, as it wore on, they seemed to settle into a little bit of rhythm, especially moving forward. And that's what they perhaps need to do more of.
Well, he's hit the nail on the head by saying he needs quality of play on the ball. He wants to put the Indians on the back foot. He knows that the Indians are going to come back firing in the second half, and he's got to keep his defense very tight and not give any space.
Yes, he acknowledges that India will come hard at them. India get things moving in the second half, in yellow this time, moving from left to right on your screens, and up against them in white. And defending their goal. On the right, England leading by 1-0. That goal coming from Adam Dixon, following a penalty corner conversion in the 28th minute of this match. The final half of the opening day of the Hero Hockey World League Finals. One of 6 match days over the next 8 or 9 days, which will see each and every team in action every day. So if you're a hockey fan and if you're in Delhi, you have absolutely no excuse. Perhaps the cold, but I'm sure that will subside as well as the days bore on. My co-commentator himself coming from the western parts of India, I can tell you he's been a little bit perturbed by the cold weather. Don't worry, Cedric, it doesn't get any worse from here.
That's why I've got the jackets on.
This time around, it's England who have possession early on. And saw a reflection of this in the first half too. India had a lot of possession in the early moments. Well, we heard what Bobby Crutchley had to say, but what do you reckon? What would Terry Walsh have been telling his team, Cedric?
Basically, India has played quite a few long balls into the circle, which have been dangerous at times. He probably must have told them to mix the game, you know, not only hit the long balls, mix the game, as well as to communicate in the defense, because there have been some chances when they've been ball watching. Communication and a little more tighter man-to-man marking is probably what Terry must have told the players at half-time.
Terry Walsh himself played as an attacking player in the Australian lineup. Silver medalist at the 1976 Olympics in Montreal. Teammate of Rick Charlesworth. Would have been quite pleased with how his Australian team showed a lot of guts and gumption in thwarting the attempts of Belgium, going through to a 3-2 victory in the first match of this day. And of course, the big result was Argentina stealing a 5-2 result over the Netherlands, suggesting that this will be a wide open tournament. Not being uncharitable to the pool stages, Cedric, but in any case, the real event will really begin with the quarterfinals, because from there, no mistakes will be afforded.
Well, the quarterfinal stage onwards is that, as we discussed it earlier, Divine, the question is that if you lose all the 3 matches in the pool stages, but you win the next 3 matches in the quarterfinal, semi-final, finally you come back with a winner's medal. The important thing is the quarterfinals, semis, and the finals onwards, which is the next matches after the pool.
This is a promising looking move from the Indians, but eventually just losing out. Sunil not able to hold on to possession in a fair enough manner for long enough. This second half has only been into its sort of 4th minute, Cedric, but just looking from the way that things are going, it does look like one of Terry Walsh's key instructions would have been to slow the pace down. They did play at a frenetic pace, and perhaps the idea is to try and allowing England to come up a little bit.
Well, if England pushes up into attack, they know, and they push more numbers in attack, and India has a ball on the break. They're very dangerous because of the skill factor as well as the speed of the Indians. So, but if you look at England, they got to always have 4 people at the back, and they know that Indians are very skillful and good on the counters. So the important thing is they're plugging their holes in defense as much as possible.
That was pretty much the case on this occasion as well. Just unable to find a way through. But, as you rightly mentioned, Cedric, they look like they're trying to mix things up a little bit in these early moments. Not as many long balls in these first 5 minutes. A few attempts at playing the flanks a bit more. The likes of Nikin Timaya, Manpreet Singh doing a lot more work. And of course, the lively duo of Yuvraj Valmiki and Afan Yusuf right at the base of the picture there, looking set to rejoin the action. Horn has played this one in, but it's very, very nicely done. Easily done by Mandeep Singh, and here comes Sardar Singh. He's got Sunil up front. It's well read though by the defense.
England playing percentage hockey. They don't lose the ball so easily. And when there's a turnover, they're very quick to regroup in defense. So they're playing within what they are capable of playing.
Manpreet, after a bit of a break, comes back on. Somebody was very, very quiet during the Junior World Cup not so long ago on this very pitch. And in the end reflected in India's final positioning. Finished 10th, of course, in that event. Catlin playing a lot deeper in the early moments of the second half. Was moving forward a lot more in the first 35. There was another thing which Bobby Crutchley did refer to in his chat. Just mix things up a little bit, and that's something that we have talked right through from the top of our broadcast today. That the format is such that it allows the coaches to experiment a little bit with positions, different players to try different roles in these early pool matches. Won't really cost the team too much in terms of what the eventual outcome might be.
Well, the only thing about winning a game in the pool matches is basically to get into a winning habit, and that's important for teams who are coming out from the cold basically and into Delhi. So it's important to win and start on a winning note, and to take that on to the rest of the tournament.
I was going to say coming out from the cold and coming into the cold in Delhi, but let's just be a little bit grateful that we're not in North America. A hilarious news piece, Cedric, about an escaped prisoner in the US who actually turned himself in because it's become so cold in America. Can you imagine that? And at the moment, it's the English team which is taking no prisoners, just making sure that they close down possessions as quickly as possible. Afan Yusuf, the only man up front as India push back and throw themselves back in good numbers in defense. Ashley Jackson hasn't really been seen on the ball too much in the second half. Eventually retaining possession of the ball was Adam Dixon, the goal scorer. Mantle. All the way back to Lewis. This is Michael Hoare. Probably the most fluent movement that we've seen from the English team right through these 70 minutes. And showing signs that they are a very, very dangerous team because they won a penalty corner for their efforts.
Well, basically, you heard the English players calling out, transfer the ball, transfer the ball. The ball was on the left pocket. The ball was switched to the defense, switched to the right-hand side, and they came in deep into the circle, deep into the 25-yard line. And then they played a 1-2 pass there, and it went off Srijesh's pads high up, and a penalty corner from there.
So doing virtually everything right there. The last touch coming from Simon Mantle. And the good news for them, Ashley Jackson is very much right there on the left of screen.
But they got a double battery in Tom Carson and Ashley Jackson, and keeping the Indian defense guessing as to where the ball's going to go.
Oh, this time playing it to the man at the right. It's still a chance for the Englishmen, and eventually the conversion does come in as well. Now, could that be game, set and match? It's the second goal of the night for Adam Dixon. And yet again, it was the variation which threw the Indian defenders off. It was played to the left, and the man with the injection almost converted, but eventually the goal did come in.
The ball was played back to Pusher, actually, and he didn't push the ball into the goal. Ball that popped up somewhere in the circle at the penalty spot, came free to Adam Dixon, who just fires it past Suresh into the goal.
This is turning out to be a fantastic evening in the office for the 27-year-old Adam Dixon. His indoor hockey skills coming to the fore because he's been controlling the ball beautifully when getting into good positions, and as a result, with 25 minutes, a little less than 25 minutes now, India have it all to do to get back into this match. If they want to win it, they need to score 3. And they also need to ensure that they stay as compact at the back as possible. Now they've won a penalty corner chance of their own. Yet again, some good quick movement, decisive movement up front from Afan Yusuf winning that.
Afan did a nice cross ball into the circle, and Mandeep was obstructed because the ball goes off the defender's stick onto Mandeep in the penalty corner.
Can they make the most of this? Even one goal back in here will definitely give the England defense something to think about, and the Indian fans something to cheer about. Putting on all their protective equipment. They've only got 45 seconds to do it. That was the timer that you saw a while ago when the English were taking the penalty corner. Oh, that's a little poor from the Indians, to say the least. Rupinder Pal Singh was looking to go for the slap and in the process just not able to bring the ball under control to begin with.
Well, the injector came in straight, and the battery didn't hold the penalty corner properly, and that's where the mistake happened there. It was Gurinder Lakra who didn't trap the ball properly, and that was what. And there was no shot at goal at all by Rupinder Pal, who had moved up to the circle for the penalty corner.
And interesting that it was Birendra doing that, because normally it is Manpreet who does that, and Manpreet is on the pitch. So Indians also just trying a few different things, trying a few different roles and responsibilities. But well, with 22 minutes, there's still every chance that the home side will come back into this in a big way. Of course, in terms of the draw of lots, it's England who are the home side in this fixture. The world number 4 up against the world number 10 in India. Some ranking points also up at stake in this Euro Hockey World League final matches. That's why keep reiterating that no match as such is meaningless. Everything could have an impact on where not only do they wind up at the end of this tournament, but also for the World Cup in the summer. It's turning out to be quite an eventful evening for Afan Yusuf. Now he's been carded. But even with 10 men, India moving forward. Have they won a penalty corner? They were appealing for it, but well, they don't have anything further to appeal for, to refer for. And Terry Walsh just with a few words of advice for young Afan Yusuf.
Well, the ball rose into the circle, and you know, everybody thought it was a penalty corner, but it was dangerous play, and from that, free hit for England.
Yuvraj Valmiki was awaiting that ball to come through to him, and had he found himself with possession, then there's every chance that he could have been in a one-on-one situation with George Pinner. Once again, the Englishman moving forward, but losing out of possession. This is the Ranveer Singh. Manpreet. I suspect Bobby Crutchley will be very happy with the way things have gone here. He did speak to Michael Absalom just before the second half began. He mentioned the fact that the 1-0 lead was not enough for them. They found that second goal, and they're playing some good hockey today, Cedric.
Well, they're playing with what you call percentage hockey. But if you look at the stats in the second half, India has had more possession than the English team. But they haven't had any shots at goal like the England scored the second goal from a PC.
So that was another lesson learned from the Netherlands-Argentina game. Netherlands with all the possession through most of the match, more than 60% at one stage. But it was Argentina who came away with those 5 goals. Sardar Singh gets a well-deserved rest, somebody who normally does play a lot of minutes on the pitch. I dare say, Cedric, all eyes will be on you during the HIL. How much of game time you give Sardar and how you distribute it evenly? And I'm sure you won't want to spill the beans this close to the HIL. Now the Indians moving forward. Nicked in once again. He's been a live wire up front, but has lacked support for most of this match. Probably been the only one who's been getting into great positions, but not too many of his teammates have been supporting him in attack. Mandeep virtually in the second half has been playing more as a midfielder, deep midfield player. Another good half-back who can move forward with a lot of purpose. He showed that in ample reserve in the first half. He's set to join the action alongside Yuvraj Valmiki, but Indians looking to move forward once again. It's back to 11v11 because the suspension was only for 2 minutes for Afan Yusuf. This is Kotajit. Oh, that's beautifully done. Once again, it's that man, Carson. Outstanding work from the Englishman. And a valiant attempt coming in from Rupinder. It's a poor giveaway though. This is Catlin, and once again lining it up on the reverse trick. Straight to Srijesh though, and the follow-up from Ashley is wide.
A nice backdoor pass for Catlin basically, and the Srijesh is well to cover the angle properly. Good padding of the ball, and from the resultant one, Jackson puts the ball out.
Yes, that was the first run coming in from Catlin, which was well thwarted by Rupinder Pal Singh. He's had a decent enough game in defence, but it could all come to naught because of those two mistakes from the Indians. Conceding those penalty corners. We mentioned right at the top of this game that this is a match where not a lot of field goals might come through. And that's why the discipline in defence is so vital. And that's an area, that's a box which the Indians unfortunately haven't ticked as well as Bobby Crutchley's men. Dan Fox. Again sending this one in and looking for a possible deflection just at the top of the box. I can tell you it wasn't too far away from Catlin. Virendra Lakra finds Sunil looking for a pass back to him. This is Ashley Jackson now. On to the left. Leghorn back with Ashley. That's a good ball through. Oh, just wide. Henry Weir found himself in, I suppose, what could be described as a slightly awkward position, but Srijesh did well to come off his line and just put him off.
And a great movement by England. The 5 or 6 strung up 5 or 6 passes, and a great pass by Ashley Jackson into the circle for Weir. But the ball, this first touch wasn't a good touch. It bobbed up, and Srijesh did well to cover up the angle and pat the ball out.
So when you're a goalkeeper, I suppose it's all about the angles, and you've got to be not only aware of what you're doing, but also what your opponent is likely to do. From that perspective, Srijesh read that situation perfectly. However, little over 15 minutes left for India to mount what looks like a pretty difficult fight back into this game, because they've really not made enough scoring opportunities, especially through open play, Cedric.
Well, the English defence hasn't given them much space, and there's been no actual tries at goal apart from the penalty corners that have come India's way.
And England once again defending in good numbers, which is why they'll have no problems. Even though Virendra Lakra had a lot of power going into that shot, George Pinner had no problems in letting it go. Oh, this is a beautiful pickup. Once again, Adam Dixon. Can he become the first man tonight to get a hat-trick? been a few players who've already found 2 goals on the night. In the first match, Kieran Govers coming back from injury after a long time and finding 2 goals for his team. For Argentina, Pedro Ibarra with 2 goals. And then when Germany played, the penalty corner specialist coming to the fore as well. Strakowski, Milo Strakowski with 2 goals. And Dixon joining them with 2 goals as well today. Can he find a third one for his team? This is well worked again. A couple of good triangle passes, looking for that last ball in, but not enough white shirts inside the box. And it's a yellow card for SV Sunil, which will be further bad news for the Indians.
Well, England doing well in the last quarter, where they keep stringing a lot of passes. The 25 diagonal passes, 45 degree, 45 degree diagonal passes.
Oh, that's beautifully worked. That one was top drawer from Adam Dixon. He had the defense wrong-footed, and the pass was a very, very incisive one. I would say, Cedric, I think we have a very, very strong contender for Hero Man of the Match in Adam Dixon. The number 16 of England has been absolutely on the ball with everything he's done today. This has been picked up by Dhanveer. Sardar. Releases Nikhil. Ayappa, in fact, on that left position, but back with English possession just as easily as it went away from them. Ali Brockton. Ashley Jackson bringing all his experience to bear in this situation. England, I suppose, Cedric, all they need to do really is hold on to the ball for as long as possible and try and make the most of opportunities that come their way. And now this victory could be theirs.
Well, if they continue to play to their strengths and just hold the ball, keep possession of the ball, and play on the break and look for the little triangles in the last quarter, well, I think they can look for a victory in that case.
Here's Dhanveer Singh, though. On the contrary, if the Indians can find 1 goal here, then we could be set for a good close finish in the last 10 minutes or so. Yusuf has won a penalty corner for his team. And just acknowledging the role played there by Herman Montes Dioka, the umpire on the far side. He's clearly, visibly coming first onto the hand and then onto the foot. Well, there's been no joy for the Indians from the penalty corners today, but can they capitalize on this 4th attempt? There have been specifically a couple of errors from Rupinder Pal Singh, but he is one of those who's poised over the ball this time. He's got the first castle, and Amit Rohidas, who himself is quite a useful finisher too, is right next to him. This one for 2-1. Rupinder Pal converts. But the Englishmen have referred it.
Look at the penalty corner. England is saying that the ball didn't go out of the circle.
Yes, the referral has been made. It's an umpire's referral.
but the ball never left the circle before it went in the goal. Therefore, it's
can you confirm that it clips a defender? Foul, please, whether it's a long corner.
So, that's a big, big call. Marcin Brohal relaying to Gary Simmons that the ball never left the circle. And now what they want to know is whether it deflected from a corner, or rather from a defender along the way. Cheers going up in the stadium, but they do not realize that, as per the rules, of course, the ball has to travel outside the circle as it's trapped. So it did clip a defender, and all the Indians will get for it is a long corner. Some mystified faces in the crowd, but that's only because they do not realize the intricacy of this rule. But I can tell you, in the commentary box, Cedric immediately spotted it. He said that that hadn't left the circle.
Well, the rule is that the ball has to leave the circle before it comes back in the circle for firing in the goal. And the ball was trapped in the circle, so hard luck to India.
And it emphasizes again, that's the fourth penalty corner. There have been some basic errors, especially in the second half. Either they've not trapped it properly or trapped it inside the circle. So some basic schoolboy errors, one would say. Not to be
the heat of the moment, it could be the pressure.
You expect better from a team playing at this level, and the only thing perhaps is that there's still 5 games to go after this. Maybe they'll get better as this tournament progresses. As things stand, the scoreboard, an accurate reflection of how things have been. England haven't been at 100%. Is a very good phrase used by my co-commentator Cedric D'Souza. He said they've played good percentage hockey, and that's been the case. They've definitely done better on the percentages, which is why they find themselves 2 goals to the good. Sardar saying that's a lovely ball. And it's well done too from Nikin Timmaiya, but only as long as he was holding on to the ball. And eventually just wilted under the pressure, constant pressure of the English defenders. No way through for Birendra Lakra. England will be quite happy doing this all evening long with that 2-goal cushion in their favour. Ashley Jackson, his control is again a tribute to his indoor hockey background. Marching straight into the Indian defender was Simon Mantle.
Simon tried to go round the defender by playing the ball round him, but he just ran into the defender, and there was a foul by Simon.
Another man with massive experience. He's playing his 158th match for England and Great Britain. Hasn't found his name in the lights, but has scored 46 goals in the past for his team. Sunil, very strangely, gave up on that ball. That's a sign that the Indians are definitely wilting also physically. Oh, this is superb skills. Once again, beautifully worked by Catlin. once again. Looking for possession for David Condon, but given away to the Indians. So can they find one goal here? If they do, then it'll lead to a pretty tense finish. Certainly the Indians will want to throw everything they can at their opponents. It doesn't really matter what margin you lose by at this stage. One thing's for sure though, they will be very positive about their chances in tomorrow's match. No easy games in this Hero Hockey World League, but taking on New Zealand tomorrow, Cedric. Well, at the moment they'll have this to defend. Oh, just wide. Once again, beautifully done by David Condon. Perhaps had more time than he thought he might.
Great pass from deep to the defense, and again another pass on top of the circle for Condon, but Condon he actually could have taken more time on that shot. He took a hurried shot and hit the ball past outside the goal. But the good thing was to see was the fact that there was 3 passes and a shot at goal.
And that's been the hallmark of the second half performance from England. So it's been much more improved from the first. In the first, it looked like the only way that they could score, although they did strike the post once from Simon Mantle. But it was more to do with the penalty corner situations. But in the second half, it's been a lot more organized hockey. 16 circle penetrations to 11. There's also 14 shots to 7. Very, very accurate reflection. The Indians, the only thing one can say is when you have 7 shots, then it's a shame if you haven't got a goal as yet. And you've got to consider that out of those 7 shots, there were 4 penalty corners which came their way. So today that's been the usual strength of theirs, which has been missing from their armory. Manpreet completely scuffs his shot, in fact misses it out completely. Not their night.
Well, you know, one of the ploys of the Indian team is to hit these long balls in from the flanks, and whether it's on the reverse or whether it's on the forehand. And Manpreet did that, you know, looking for a shot into the circle, or a tip-in or a touch.
Yet again, it's end-to-end action with England immediately responding and getting the ball into a very dangerous position. Some tiredness there, but more than anything else, what one can see is a little bit of despondency, but they've got to try and pick themselves up. The format of this, while we keep talking about the fact that there is every chance that you can come back, but barring the odd off day, it's pretty much consecutive days that you play on. So you've got to pick yourselves together very, very quickly. Just a quick reminder of all of tomorrow's games. We start at 2 p.m. local time when Belgium take on Argentina. Then at 4 p.m. Cedric, Netherlands against Australia. That's going to be something.
You just put from behind, I think.
Well, if Netherlands play like how they played today, then it's going to be a whitewash again.
England will have possibly their biggest test in the pool stages when they take on Germany at 6 p.m. and that will be followed by the last match of the day, New Zealand v India. Sunday, of course, is an off day, and we're also coming towards what is known in northern India as Lohri. That's the traditional, the end of the winter, so that will be something which will be music to Cedric D'Souza's ears. Because Cedric, I mean, scientifically that is supposed to be the official end of winter, but never say never.
I look forward to that, Japan.
Just 3 minutes on the clock now, and India have, it must be said, been outplayed in more or less every department. They started brightly, but something that has been a worrying trend in their performances in recent times, at least going by what was in evidence during the Junior World Cup, just not able to finish off the ample opportunities that they create. That's good commitment from Afan Yusuf. So some of the silver linings from this game. Young Afan Yusuf, while he did cost them a referral, he has looked quite lively in front of goal. Jackson. Down to the left, Harry Martin. Dispossessed by Dharamveer Singh. Both teams with a little bit of sluggishness and languid movements at the moment. Evidently, these 68 minutes have taken a lot out of them. Setting this one through. It was at the start of this prospective attack from the Englishman, and they found a penalty corner for themselves. Well worked yet again. Can Adam Dixon get his hat-trick here?
Well, a clean penalty corner because Brogdon got the ball got on the foot of Raghunath. It was a good play by Brogdon, if you ask me. He got the ball from the 25-yard line, cut into the circle, and deep in the circle got into Raghunath's foot.
They have scored 2 out of the previous 4. This is the 5th, and Ashley Jackson is in there, as is Carson, so no evidence of Dixon. Jackson, remember, chasing his 50th goal in England colours alone. 83rd overall for England and Great Britain. It is Jackson, but it's a great save by Srijesh in the end. The key to that, perhaps not committing, and that's what allowed him to pull it off. Time has run out for the Indians, one would think, near. Very much a question of whether the final scoreline is 2-0 or 3-0. Ashley Jackson unable to add to the score sheet. So the Poole encounter going England's way. It's been a good convincing performance by England. And 2 goals on the night for Adam Dixon, both of them coming off penalty corners, and underscoring the fact that they played a good disciplined game right through. Barry Middleton was excellent as well, and there are 3 or 4 players up front were mighty impressive. The likes of David Condon, Tom Carson, as well as Nick Catlin, always creating trouble for the Indian defenders. India started brightly, but the second half in particular was perhaps a reflection of the fact that this team still needs a little bit of time to gel together. There's still a few players who've come in as late replacements and perhaps weren't expecting to play in these Hockey World League finals. And they're still looking for that inspiration. Remember, they've also lost a couple of warm-up matches leading up to this. And that's why they've just come into this with a little bit of low confidence. And tonight's match wouldn't have helped them too much either. It's finished after 70 minutes here at the Major Dhyanchand's National Stadium. England 2, India 0. Jubilant fans. I could swear I thought I saw that lady lip-syncing to some of the Hindi songs here as well, Cedric, because it is an English night here.
Well, it was a great game by England. They played really well. They kept the ball with them right through the 70 minutes. It was a method of a percentage hockey shown to the Indian players as well as the fans, that this is what hockey is all about: how to hold the ball, how to use a set plays.
This was the penalty corner which led to the goal. Initially looking to work a variation, and right at the end falling to Dixon. And as he showed in the first half as well, once it falls to him and in a good position, then he's almost sure to try and convert it. The Indian defense at 6s and 7s, and that was a worrying trend. They were put off by some of the variations played by the Englishmen. This was another beautiful move. Ashley Jackson working his way through and finding Henry Weir. And Weir went for a shot spinning around, but it was nicely saved by Srijesh. And this was a decisive moment for the Indians. At this stage, had they still found 1 goal back, and we thought initially that it was back to 2-1. But there's the error. Virendra Lakra unable to take that ball outside the circle. That is what the rules state, that if it doesn't go outside the circle, then it's not a goal. So So bemusing not only the Indian team but also some of the fans. The numbers overwhelmingly in favor of England, and they've made the most of everything they've got. 52% possession, 18 circle penetrations to 12, and 16 shots to 7. Overall a clean game, although India shading it in terms of cards. 1 yellow, which was unwarranted. So this Pool A has seen victories from Germany and now from England, with 2 goals coming in from Adam Dixon, and I wonder if he'll be one of the front runners perhaps for the hero man of the match. Let's cross over to Michael Absalom.
Welcome along to the Hero Man of the Match presentation. We're joined here by Harbinder Singh, an Arjuna Award winner and also a gold medalist from 1964 in Tokyo. And today's Man of the Match from England, Adam Dixon. Congratulations, Adam. We've got a nice medal for you there that Harbinder's going to present you with, as well as a cheque for 25,000 rupees. And we'll get your thoughts on the game there against India. Great to come up against the host first game round, and good to get some goals and points on the board.
Yeah, we always knew this was going to be a really tough game, and no better way to start the tournament with a win. I think, you know, the whole squad put in a really good performance there, and I was just in the right place at the right time. I don't score very many goals, so it's nice to be there.
How important is it to get off to a winning start in a tournament like this?
I think it's pretty crucial. You obviously set the momentum for the rest of the coming days in the tournament. You know, and to put in the performance like we did can only give us a bit of confidence as well to go with that.
Okay, well, best of luck for the rest of the tournament, and hopefully a few more goals and a few more prizes coming your way.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks.
So some disappointed Indian fans, but they'll be back here, I can promise you that. And they'll be back here because Sardar Singh and his teammate are fighters, no doubt, and they'll look to come back fighting in these pool stages. Now this is how things have panned out. This is Pool A, which saw its 2 games. Germany comfortably on top thanks to that goal difference, but victories for both Germany and England on the night. And it will be a top of the table clash tomorrow when England take on Germany. And New Zealand and India will be fighting for that first points, and if they get a draw, then both of those teams will wind up with points as things stand. Now Pool B, of course, who would have thought Argentina up on top ahead of Australia, Belgium, and most crucially the team that they beat today, Netherlands. That was an outstanding result for them, beating them 5-2 in a thrilling encounter in Pool B. Just telling that these Hero Hockey World League Finals matches are anybody's game on any given night. Just a quick reminder that we are on social networking as well. Facebook on FI Hockey, and at Twitter at FIH_hockey, where you can hashtag it with HHWL. Now, tomorrow's matches. This is Belgium against Argentina at 2 p.m. Pool B, followed by Netherlands against Australia. And of course, if Belgium do win, then they'll register their first points, and Netherlands will also need to win against Australia. England against Germany is a top of the table clash, and New Zealand against India at 8 p.m. will hopefully get some people in, some fans in, on a lovely Saturday evening right here at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium in Delhi. So it's been a fantastic day of hockey, some happy English fans, 21 goals in 4 matches. For the moment, it's a good night from all of us here in Delhi.